How's it, guys? It's Davey FPL and welcome back to another Deadline with Davey live stream. This one's going to be revolving around Gameweek 21, a bit of a weird one if you guys are watching around the world. As Vincent is saying, it's 1 a.m. his time. I do apologize for you guys around the world, but it's just one of those things, unfortunately. The deadline is going to be weird and we're going to have to kind of address it, assess it. There's a couple of games coming up. There could potentially be some early team sheet news. I doubt it, but we could always be getting some early team sheet news. So I'll probably delay the transfer for as long as possible. But if you know my current thoughts on the transfer plan and the team selection, I'm looking at Semenyo to Eze this week. So that transfer does look pretty locked in. Unfortunately, with Semenyo, even though he's playing at striker, could be out of position. That's always good. I just don't trust the fixtures and the finishing at the moment. So I think that I'm going to take a punt on Eze's fixtures. They're pretty good for the next few game weeks, and then we will see how that goes on. Harry, thank you for saying the audio and the video look good or look crispy. Do appreciate it. I do, unfortunately, have to say good luck for work in an hour. Are you working the night shift, it seems? But hopefully this deadline stream puts you in good stead for it. Vincent, I hope this deadline stream doesn't put you to sleep. And hello to everyone else. How's it? Tracy Rahitsa saying feels like forever. It has been a few days, but I have been enjoying the bit of a break. You also posted some questions early on as usual saying, hope you well. Questions. I've got 3 free transfers already. Did Foden to Gordon. That's a good move. Would you recommend Semenyo and Jackson to Bruno and Wood for free? Good luck. I would only do that if you want to captain Bruno. I think that transfer does look pretty good then. I think the Bruno captaincy is also up there if you guys want to do it. So I would do those 2 free transfers. They look pretty good. You're getting Southampton this week, Southampton next week for Chris Wood. And if you want to captain Bruno, it just makes it even easier. Otherwise, Semenyo Jackson are okay. Could you potentially do Semenyo to Eze like myself? That could also look pretty nice. And if I don't do the 2 remaining true transfers, would you recommend starting Semenyo over João Pedro? Yes, so that's a big one this week. It looks like it's going to be benching João Pedro time. It just seems like that's what everyone's doing at the moment. I've seen some Brighton predicted lineups. None of them have João Pedro starting, so I'm not super confident. Look, if he does start this one, it's obviously a potential haul, which is going to be tough, but might just be one of those weeks that we have to bite the bullet. The potential cameo is a worrying factor, so we might be benching him. I'm going to arrange my team. Don't look at the team too much now. I'll be doing some changes to the formation, the captaincy, that sort of thing. I just wanted to go live and see how it goes. Andrew, what about the yellow flags? As far as I know, Isaac is okay. João Pedro is the only one that might be up there. And if you guys do own Timber, apparently he is okay, as that's the last thing I kind of read. In your opinion, what are the 2 top 3 forwards to have right now? It's definitely going to be Isaac. I would then have Chris Wood, and I'd probably have Mateta. Those are the 3. But it might change. Maybe Erling Haaland's back in the picture fairly shortly. But yeah, I would say those 3 to me are where I would be looking. Sar, good alternative to Eze. Yeah, it's kind of it's a like for like that's cheaper, not as good, but could potentially outscore him. So Sar's okay if you guys can't afford Eze. I think you guys can take a punt on the next few fixtures. Yes, we have had news of the double game week 24. So if Liverpool remain in the top 8 of the Champions League, which looks pretty likely as they are first, then the double game week is going to be game week 24. So that Everton game is going to be moving into game week 24. So your Liverpool assets will be having a double fairly shortly. If that doesn't happen, it's game week 25 anyways. So just have to kind of assess that. In terms of assistant manager, don't exactly know because there are League Cup and FA Cup games, I think, between potentially either one of those competitions between game week 24, before or after. So just maybe watch out for that one. And also, I think you can only activate it in game week 24. So game week 23 is great for Liverpool, but you can't activate it then. So a little bit of a downer. And then in game week 26, they have Man City. So you might want to do a manager transfer then. So at the moment, I'm not worrying too much about this chip strategy. I'm just kind of making my transfers as I see points. But yeah, if you guys are worrying about upcoming blanks and that sort of thing, don't worry about it too much in my opinion. We also have a super chat saying, who to captain today? Need help. Isaac, Palmer, or Salah? So I'll give you my opinion. This week it's so close. It's like a coin flip to decide on your captain. I would say Isaac, although he's okay, there's too much risk now in him playing a reduced amount of minutes. So for me, Isaac's off the question. and it's between Salah, Palmer, and if you guys do own Bruno, I think Bruno's an outside punt. Between Salah and Palmer, it's quite tough. For my team, I own Jackson, so I'm hoping that Chelsea do well already. But what I could do is hedge it and kind of not put all my eggs in one basket. I won't lie to you, not the biggest fan of Chelsea at the moment. They've been tanking my FPL team over the previous game weeks. And we could potentially be starting Enzo again instead of João Pedro. So, in my opinion, between Palmer and Salah, it's very close. I usually just live by the rule. If you don't know who to captain, just go for Salah. But I see Palmer's in the Twitter community is kind of picking up some heat. Ironic because, you know, it's Cole Palmer. But yeah, he's picking up some heat. Some effective ownership's definitely going to be there. So honestly, I think it's like a 50-50 between them. I would say now, if it was a 50-50, I'd probably back Salah because I feel like their avenues for points are pretty similar. I just back the Liverpool attack more than the Chelsea one. But it's very close. As I said, I wish Isaac was fully fit because I think I would have just gone for him instead of in Salah and Palmer. But with him being injured, I don't know. Bench 2 from Watkins, Wood, Trent, Gabriel, and Rogers. So bench 2, is Watkins going to start? Because I've seen some projected lineups with Duran in the lineup. So if Wood starts, then I don't know. I would start Trent definitely. I think you can get away. I would probably play Wood over Rogers. So I would probably say Watkins and Gabriel. Because if you can bench a defender, I always like to play an attacker rather. Ewok, Gabriel, yeah, gonna hopefully get a clean sheet, but I don't know. I could potentially play Robinson, but I'm gonna back the double up and see where it leads me. Do you think João Pedro will start? I'm less confident now. I'm probably like 30-70% on him being benched. Chris Faz saying joining a bit late. No worries. As long as you hear Chris, only about 12 minutes late. That's no worries. I only go live about 5 minutes past anyways. I need to start 3 of Andy, Robinson, Mazraoui, Gabriel, and Porro. I'm stuck with Mazraoui on the bench, but can see a clean sheet there. Yeah, I'd definitely start Mazraoui. I'd start Mazraoui over Porro. I'd play Andy, Robertson, Mazraoui, and Gabriel. That's my kind of thinking on it. But yeah, like I understand Porro has attacking to it, but I just can't see Spurs keeping a clean sheet. Gid is saying what to do. I've got Verbruggen, Sanchez, Trent, Timber. Your entire team is there. 2 free transfers, so it would be Jesus out. I would probably try and take Jesus to Wood if you can this week. But you're probably going to bench him anyway. So if you can just bench Jesus this week, just roll with it. And in terms of your kind of midfield, it looks like you would start all of those anyways. So I would just bench Jesus. Your back line is going to be Trent, Robinson, and Hall. I think you can roll the transfer if you want to be honest. Maybe Timber. But because you don't own the double up with Raya, I'd probably just bench Timber and hope they concede. Would you play any Manchester United defenders over the ones you have? Probably over Gabriel, to be honest. I think that's what I would do. Do I bench Enzo for Eze as I do not have Semenyo? No, Christian. Do not bench Enzo for Eze. Play Eze. But yes, if you're talking about what to do if you bring in Eze, then bench Enzo. But yeah, if you have both, please don't bench Enzo for Eze. Eze is much better of an option. Replacement for Joe Gomez. Mazraoui if you can afford him. That's what I would probably do. I think that the best cheap option at the moment is Mazraoui because he'll play Southampton and their fixtures upcoming aren't too bad. And then in blank Gameweek 29, they've got Leicester, I think. João Pedro, Iwobi, Cole, Lewis, who to start and what should my benching order? I'd probably play, out of those options, I'd probably play Iwobi. And then I would say João Pedro, Cole, Lewis. Or Lewis instead of Cole, sorry. Luke, to gain some money, is Odegaard to Mud a good move to give me plenty? That's okay. I think that transfer is fine. I do like the Spurs fixture for Odegaard. Obviously, the Southampton game is much better. But if you're going to use that money for future moves, Luke, then I don't mind it. But don't just sell a guy for money because you think you'll need it. Maybe have a bit of a plan for the future game weeks. And that's pretty easy. Like you can honestly kind of, how do you put this? Like give yourself positive intent. convince yourself to do it. You could just say like, in the future, I want to get Trent or I want to get Haaland. So if you want to do the move, you're probably going to convince yourself anyways. But yeah, just maybe try and have a plan. Would you play João Pedro or Rodgers? I'd probably bench João Pedro at the moment, guys, if I'm honest with you. That's what my current thinking is. And I see on Twitter a lot of people are doing the same thing. As mentioned, I've looked at some projected lineups from Brighton fans, and all of them have João Pedro on the bench, basically. So that's what I'd say. We do have the chocolate milk today, so I'm just hoping these green arrows turn around, to be honest. Flames is saying, hi, Bruno or Gordon for this week. Bruno. Chris also need to pick two of a Mud, Porro, Rodgers, and Raul Jimenez. First week in ages. I'd probably say a Mud, and I'd say Raul Jimenez, because he's on penalties. Christian is saying, do I transfer Enzo out for Eze as I do not have Semenyo? Can you afford that? So Christian, just give me your midfield department. That'll make this a bit easier. Geert is saying, thank you. So I shouldn't bring Bruno or Ahmad at all. You can if you want to. But let me just go up and just remind myself about what your question was. Sorry. What do I do? So who would you bring Bruno or Ahmad in for? Like the thing about this is the player I would probably remove is going to be Diaz or Rodgers. But with Diaz in the upcoming double in 24, you probably just want to keep him. So you could do Rodgers out to a Mud if you want to, but I don't know. I still like Rodgers. I think he's okay. But yeah, Rodgers to a Mud's a fine transfer. Milos is saying Semenyo plus Cunha to Mud. Yeah, so I think you asked this on Discord and I said I like the moves. To me, those moves look pretty good. Any transfer plans? Any Bruno plans? So no, Nikhil, I sold Bruno last week. Yes, that might have been a mistake. But the plan this week is Semenyo out for Eze. And then I'll probably just change potential captaincy though. Let me actually just rotate. I'm going to put Enzo instead of João Pedro for the time being. Just so people don't join the stream and think it's... I'd say I'm slightly more tempted by Salah. Because look at this. Chelsea Football Club is going to ruin my game week once again. Enzo, Palmer, and Nicholas Jackson. Surely in this situation, I just captain Palmer and hope that Chelsea bang. Before I forget, I want to post a poll. Who is your captain? You guys must answer honestly. This isn't who you would captain. It's who is your captain at the moment. I'm only going to give sort of a few options here. I'm only going to give 4 options because I think there's only these 4 generally. It's Salah, Palmer, Bruno, and Isaac. So you guys can vote honestly on this one. Who's your current captain? Are the same midfield as you, except I've Dibbling instead of Semenyo. Okay. Yeah, then I think I like the Enzo to Eze move. That's okay. Hi, Jacques. He's saying hi to chat as well. So say hi to Jacques. Connor with the super chat saying Jackson Diaz to Bruno plus Raul Jimenez. Can't. Okay, so this is similar. Connor, what I was saying is Diaz out when he has a double might not be as optimal. But if you want to captain Bruno, I understand the transfer. So I think that those moves are fine. Moves are always made easier if you want to captain the player you're bringing in. I've gone Semenyo to Gordon as I don't trust Eze. I mean, Mark, I would do that as well. I would go for Gordon over Eze if I had the choice, but I already have Gordon. Hopefully you have Bruno because then you're probably looking pretty good. Yeah, I get that's fine. I get what you're saying. Ahmad looks good for this week and probably is going to outscore Rodgers. I'd say that. But in the future, I think Rodgers is an okay move. Or okay, keep. Gangster saying Semenyo plus Jackson to Mateta plus Gordon for -4. Thoughts, please. I like these moves. The only one is Jackson to Mateta is a bit... I don't know. For a -4, for free, I would say yes. But for -4, it makes it a bit tougher. I do think, though, that they look good. I think both have good fixtures this week, so I think the -4 will be repaid. It's just if you want Jackson or Semenyo in the future, which you probably won't. So, yeah, gangster, I think that those moves look fun. The -4 makes it tough, though. For free, I would say yes, but for the -4, it's a bit close. But yeah, I'd say if it was my team, I might do it. But yeah, you can make that final call. I'm captaining Davey. I mean, I'm playing tonight. That's why I'm in my kit at the moment, because after the stream ends, I have to go play. So you guys can captain me if you want to, but I don't know how many goals I'll be getting you. So yeah, hopefully when I come back, I see a Jackson Hattie. That'll be pretty nice. Would you play Rodgers to Everton or Enzo? I'd play Rodgers, definitely. Rodgers is a better option than Enzo, Joe. Jackson and Enzo out for Jimenez and Gordon, or Visa and Eze? I'd do Jimenez and Gordon. But yeah, Yash, once again, it's the -4. The -4 is looking tough. I think the -4 is made a bit easier if you can afford Wood instead of Raul Jimenez. Can you do that? Best replacement for Jesus, have Jackson and Isaac. I'd go Chris Wood, Jacques, but what you could do is if you have a fine bench, you can just bench Jesus this week because you'd bench Chris Wood if you brought him in. And then just do the move next week when he has Southampton. That way, if he gets injured, that sort of thing, you're making yourself a little bit better. So just let me know if your bench is looking okay. Thoughts on Bruno as a differential captain? Yeah, I like it a lot. I think if he's probably the differential captain at the moment. I do like him. I think he's a fine option. It's just if you trust United, how much trust you give them. No worries. Just join. What's the plan? Kevin, the plan is to bring in Eze for Semenyo and bench João Pedro, but we'll discuss that. At the moment, the Captaincy poll is 44% on Salah, which is actually pretty high. I was expecting more on Palmer. Still healthy, 18% on Isaac, and we have Palmer on 29%. Sorry, what I want to do quickly is I want to just bring up the projected goals and projected clean sheets quickly. Just for those of you guys, I've seen some benching dilemmas, not the worst kind of benching dilemmas in the world, but maybe this will give you. Okay, just let me know if we're back, guys. Unfortunately, the stream did drop, but we should be back. Let me just see. We might actually just have disconnected a bit. I'm just going to give it a second, yeah. Okay, it looks like we are kind of getting back. We're dropping a bit of frames. I'm just going to check. It seems a bit more stable. So I think we are back. Just let me know if it's sounding crispy. If it's sounding not too bad. I won't lie to you. It just jumped to the highest. It just jumped to the highest I've ever had. Sorry, my light was a bit weird there. It just jumped to the highest I've ever had in terms of internet connection. So that is looking pretty good. So yeah, I think we are back. Do apologize for that one, guys. As mentioned, it was just it wasn't load shedding. It was just my internet went a bit bad at the moment, but we should be back. So let me just catch up with chat. Thank you for the warnings though about the stream dropping. Let me just see if there were any questions that I missed. Okay, Joel with the super chat saying bench one, Wood, Gabriel, Hall, and do I replace Madison? I'd probably bench Gabriel in that situation. And do I replace Madison? Yes, I'd say I would replace Madison. So if you can afford Bruno, I think he's the best option. Otherwise, Gordon and then Eze. Those are my top three. What's up, Ty? You think you just missed the lag. Thanks, Kylo GG. Chad says you posted your team on Discord. Okay, I'll check it quickly, but I don't usually check teams. Okay, I can't see it. Is it in the Legends chat? I think your team looks fine. Cunha or Rodgers might be a little bit of a tough benching dilemma. All good now. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Slamming. Hey, Davey, bench Enzo or Rodgers? I'd bench Enzo. even though Chelsea have a high projected goals, I think that Rodgers is a better selection, if I'm honest with you. How's it AVP's advise? Roll transfer and start Mikalenko. 1, okay. 2, sell Semenyo for a mud. Jackson out for Mateta. On that, is Jackson worth keeping for the next few game weeks? Jackson is fine for the next 2, Herman. Out of those 2, I think Semenyo to a mud looks good. That looks okay. Though it was thought it was my internet. Sorry, Sharks. I do apologize. So no, your internet was fine. It was me, to be honest. Gregory, I know you have to pay. Yes. Okay. So Gregory, you're asking a very important question about the assistant manager. So to buy a manager, you have to have money in your bank, and then when the chip gets deactivated after the 3 weeks, that money gets put back in your bank. So the managers can't rise in price and they can't drop in price. So they'll stay constant. For example, Arnie's slot will be 1.5 from when you buy him to sell him. So you'll just get that 1.5 back in after you sell him. So yeah, good question about the chip. And we'll get more familiar with it as the weeks go by when we look to potentially use it. Who is your captain? At the moment, it's Salah. But I'm tempted by Palmer now because I have to start 3 Chelsea assets. Would you start Sals or Fabianski? 3 out of Trent. Okay, so Penguin, I would start Sals for the save points. I think both lose the clean sheet. On paper, though, obviously West Ham have a higher clean sheet chance, so you could always go for him. But I think maybe just go for Sals and hope for a lot of saves. And out of Trent, Gabriel, Munoz, and Robinson, you start Trent, you start Munoz, and you start Gabriel, similar to what I've done. And also start João Pedro or Wood. Thanks a lot, João. I'd start Wood over Pedro. How many transfers have you got on the bank? Thomas, only 1. I've got 1 free transfer. You would play Wood if you owned him. Carla, I would play Wood over Rodgers and I'd play Wood over Enzo, just because of the penalty threat. And Liverpool's backline hasn't been that fantastic. Sorry, Gregory, for being knocked out. At least you beat me this year, though. Play Mbuma or Munoz? I'd play Munoz, probably, to be honest. I think Mbuma is great, but I think that Munoz could have a haul this week. Best Jesus replacements? Number 1 would probably be... This is my opinion. I think Chris Wood is probably the best, unless you don't own Isaac. But I would rather just bench Jesus if your bench is okay, and then get Chris Wood next week. But if you can't do that, just get Chris Wood this week. Otherwise, Mateta's okay. Raheem is also fine. Derichi saying, hiding my device at work and watching. You missed my question on Discord. Derichi, okay, I'll go answer your question quickly. Did you ask it after I went live, though? Because then I might not have seen it. Otherwise, can you just post it again? Okay, no, I see it. I've got the lot and Jesus out injured. 1 free transfer. Do I take out the lot and bring in a defender or play Gabriel and get a strike instead of Jesus? Not keen on that. Yeah, so... do you have Munoz? I already have Isaac and João Pedro. I was planning to play. Now he's injured. Yeah, so it's just what I said with Jesus. If you can bench him, it's okay. Just because Wood has Liverpool this week. Instead of Dalot, you could go for Mazraoui as a like-for-like switch. I think it's a great transfer as well. Otherwise, if you don't own Munoz, I would do that. So I would probably do the defender transfer and then just bench Jesus if you can. 7.9 striker, Mateta, I've already got Isaac and Wood. Yeah, I'd go Mateta then. Yeah, I would do what you just say. I'd just bench Jesus and play No, I wouldn't. I would get Mateta this week because you already own Chris Wood. So who are you going to get next week anyways? Okay, no worries. Let me see if I can... Yeah, so hopefully I answered your question there, Dorichi. Just let me know if I can get back to you. Just let me know your defenders. That'll make it a bit easier in your strikers. Winston is saying, would you play a Lunga or a Mud instead of Semenyo? Would you bring a Lunga or a Mud? I'd bring a Mud in instead of Semenyo. Start Wood or Pedro? Vince, I'd go for Pedro. I mean, I'd go for Wood, sorry. Like, I'm going to check Twitter again for you guys just to make sure that I've got all the injury news and that's up to date. But as far as I saw, most people are predicting that João Pedro is benched. I see that Aston Villa sold Marlon from Borussia Dortmund. It's a pretty good signing. Okay, I don't see anything at the moment. As I mentioned, the thing about my team is like I'm banking so much on Chelsea, I might just put all my eggs in one basket and hope they do well. But yeah, that's all I can see at the moment is just the fact that we have no early team sheet news as of yet, but most people are saying that they're going to be benching João Pedro. Look, I mean, we can't trust that. That's just people's FPL teams. But yeah. Fabianski back this week. My other option is Flecken. I don't know. The thing about Fabianski is that, like, Areola hasn't been bad since coming back. Captaining Bruno better for a 900k rank. Your rank isn't terrible. It's halfway through the season, but if you want to take a punt, I'd say, yeah, Bruno's probably the best. Any updates on Isaac? No, we have had no updates as of now. Who is going to be your second Liverpool player and will you take out one of your Chelsea options? So I already have two. I've got Trent and Salah. My third option might be Alisson or Konate, depending on how it looks. The graphic on display, where can I get it? So it's not my graphic. It's RobTFPL. So you can see just above, underneath the heading, it says graphic ... at RobTFPL. So these are the same data I use for the ultimate guide, but he puts it in a very nice image. So I would definitely recommend going and following him. Great kind of insights. And as I said, he puts it in a nice little package for you. Okay, let me just go back to my team as requested. Sorry, let me just alt. So at the moment, we've got Salah captain. But yeah, I'm not 100% on it now. Like, because I'm benching João Pedro, I'm almost thinking that maybe I should just captain Palmer and just hope that Chelsea do well. So I'm saying Timber to Semenyo to Gordon and Jackson to Wood. I don't think I would do the Jackson to Wood unless you really need the funds. Can you do the first two, Timber to Semenyo to Gordon? I think those look a bit better. Sell Semenyo for Gordon, I would do that. And sell Pedro for Raul Jimenez, no, I'd just keep João Pedro. Can you bench him? That's okay. Bench Enzo or Rogers? Nikhil Enzo. Is João Pedro confirmed out? Chucks, he's not. But the thinking behind it is that Ipswich is a lesser game than the one on the weekend against United. So chances are maybe he gets, even if he's fit, he gets rested against Ipswich and then plays United just so that he doesn't aggravate that injury again. So that's the current thinking. But yeah, he's not confirmed out, but I've seen most Brighton fans are predicting that he's benched. So he won't be out, he'll be in the squad. It just depends if he comes off the bench or not for like a one-pointer. Aaron, I've benched Semenyo for Gay. Should I sell him for Gordon and bench Gay? I mean, there's a chance of a clean sheet. Leicester are okay attacking-wise. I would say that Gordon has a higher threshold than Gay does. So Aaron, I'd probably do that move, to be honest. It's just like Munoz has that attacking threat that would make him pretty attractive. The one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I asked this over on Twitter, and maybe I'll cancel this poll. So we've had about 500 votes here from you guys. 43% are saying Salah, 33% are saying Palmer, 8% Bruno, 16% Isaac. I'm going to end the poll here. The question I want to ask you guys now is, who would you start between Enzo and Robinson? So now you guys can vote on this. So who should I start between Enzo and Robinson if you guys had to decide? And as we just asked that, Flames is asking Robinson or Enzo. So pretty good timing there. So whatever the chat says, you guys can back it. Is Timber confirmed out? No, he's not, Pawan. Apparently he's actually fit. That's the last thing I saw. I don't own Semenyo. I have Rogers. Rest of them, same as you. Suggest me the transfers as yours. So instead of Semenyo, you have Rogers. I think you can just play Rogers if I'm honest with you. Would you bench Forest defenders this week? Yes, I would. Unless it sells. The goalkeepers are different because they get saves, but I would probably bench my Forest defenders. I got Eze this weekend for Luis Diaz. Not super sure. It's okay. As I mentioned, with the double coming up in 24, you might have just wanted to keep Luis Diaz, but maybe there's a better FPL asset from Liverpool in the next few games. Bench one of Ahmad or Jackson. That is tough. I would probably say you have to play Ahmad because of the fixture. But I would try and play both of them. What's the rest of your team looking like? Robinson or Enzo, says Vincent. Whatever you voted, Vincent. Actually, 66% of you are saying Robinson. Interesting. Why benching João Pedro? It's not rumored, but it's predicted that he might be on the bench. So that's why I'm potentially looking to bench him. Look, it's not like the rest of my team have better fixtures. It's just the fact that all signs are kind of pointing to the fact that he might be rested for this one. I have Diaz instead of Gordon. All other teams same as yours. What moves would you suggest I do? I have Diaz instead of Gordon. I think you're at the point where you have to just keep Diaz for the double. So I would say, can you do Semenyo to Gordon? Can you do Semenyo to Eze? Can you afford that? Daniel Byrne says, no, I've never seen the official name there, Daniel. It's usually just Dan Byrne. Or Saliba. I would probably say, damn, that's quite a tough one. I'm just going to go over to projected points to try to help me out. Yeah, I go for Saliba. I just trust the Arsenal defense slightly more. Start three from Trent, Norrie, Hall, Gabriel. I would start Trent, Hall, and Gabriel. Would you sell Martinelli to Gordon this week? That's a tough one. I like the Spurs fixture for Arsenal, so I think maybe not. I think I might just keep Martinelli for one more week. Yeah, I think it's close between them. I'd probably just keep Martinelli. Is Timber injured? As far as I know, he was injured, but he was like past fit, or it wasn't as serious as they thought today or yesterday. So I think he is okay. Start Hall or Castagna? I'd go for Hall. Thank you, Marco, for the chant. Okay, 67% of you are saying Robinson. That goes against my always play the attacker mentality. How has Enzo's stats been? How's the XG involvement been? Okay, it's been okay. It's not the worst XG involvement in the world. And Robinson's, it's not the worst thing in the world. I just want to go check West Ham's scoring form. Okay, scored against Man City. They didn't against Liverpool. They won against Southampton, scored against Brighton, Bournemouth. Yeah, I don't know. Do Fulham keep a clean sheet? 27% is not the worst thing in the world. I think I might just stick with Enzo and see how it goes. Once again, putting all my faith in Chelsea. I think though, then I should probably captain Palm if I'm going to play Enzo as well. And then just hope that Chelsea do really well. What are your thoughts on Jota? Jota's fine, but as any Liverpool attacker besides Salah, there's going to be rotation there. I would say that Luis Diaz and Gakpo are the main starters now. So I don't think now's the time to jump on Jota, but it could be in the future. I would choose Enzo over Robinson. Thank you, Flames. 68% of the chat, though, are disagreeing with you. I'm just going to put that out there. And also disagreeing with me at the moment. Hall or Munoz? I'd go Munoz. Enzo versus Cunha, who to bench? I'd probably say I'd still go for Cunha because he's got penalties. Are you looking at any Palace attackers? Herman, yes. I am looking to take Semenyo out for Eze. That's almost definite. I'm just waiting for if there's any shock early team sheet news. But Enzo to Eze looks pretty likely, I'm not going to lie. .3 in the bank. I would take Jesus out. Jesus for Wood. I think that's what I would do. Tie the footy guy. Okay, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything as of now. No any team sheet news. We do have 3 games though coming up. We got Man City, Brentford, Chelsea, Bournemouth, West Ham, Fulham. All of these are coming up. So I thought we might get something, but I don't know. Thoughts on Pedro? I see his second sub. Oh, Moses, just because, I don't know, there's speculation that he's benched, but not speculation, more just kind of predictions. That's the only reason why. Joey, would you start Pedro or Rodgers? Yeah, so I think at the moment it seems like most people are benching João Pedro. So I would probably just play Rodgers over him. No worries, Ty. Sadesh, I think just captain Salah because having triple Chelsea attack is differential enough. It is, but like, so I get that debate. The other debate though is like, I'm hoping that Chelsea do well anyways with the triple up. So might as well just put all of my eggs in one basket. But I agree with you that I might be able to cover the risk of Palmer Campsey with Enzo and Jackson, but I could just go something to the wall and just hope that Chelsea do well. I don't know. Trent, Virgil, Salah, who signs, who walks? If I have to give my prediction now, I'd probably say Virgil, Salah sign, and Trent walks. But I hope all 3 sign, obviously. Would you start Wood and bench Pedro due to the benching predictions? Yes, I would do that. And I would start Wood over Rodgers and Enzo if you guys are deciding between that. Would you play Cobble or Robinson? I'd go Robinson. Should I do Diaz to Bruno and Semenyo to Saar, and later on I can also bring Alisson or Konate? Akash, those moves look pretty decent. The only thing about Diaz is, like, as you already said though, you can go for Alisson or Konate at a later stage. If you want to captain Bruno this week, makes it even better. I could do Akash straight to Wood or Jesus to an upgrade to Eze. No, I would do Jesus to Wood and just play him. Should we put João Pedro in the bench 3 in case Isaac misses out so we won't get... No, I'd rather João Pedro come before Greaves, if I'm honest with you. Semenyo, Jackson for Wood and Gordon looks pretty okay. Only annoying thing is, like, and I think that's what a lot of people are discovering, it's like you want Jackson rather than Wood this week, but next week you obviously want that move, but you can't afford Gordon if you don't drop Jackson to Wood. So I think for free, those moves look pretty fine. But midfield is -4. Yeah. I would just do the Wood transfer. Will you sell Semenyo to Eze? Yes, I will sell Semenyo to Eze. I was just hoping we got some early team sheet news, but yes, Sadesh. So you said the saying I wanted to say. And David, yeah, I'm going to do that move. Also, should I sell Mbeumo for Bruno from us and captain? And thank you. So Fallen, if you want to captain Bruno, the -4 makes it okay. Yeah, Sadesh, it is true. Like I back the logic on, like, it's tough to kind of hope that Chelsea attackers suddenly do better. But yeah, if you want to captain Salah, I mean, it's so close between these two, I can back it. The only thing that's swaying it for me is the fact that I own Jackson and Enzo and I'm starting them. So, like, I'm hoping that Chelsea do well. So I'm just taking a punt, and it's risky, I understand. Yeah, their form has been bad, Mark. I do agree with you. Would you captain Bruno if you had him? Akash, I think I might. It would be tempting. I think I would probably still go for Palmer or Salah, but it would be close. I think if I was, maybe my rank was a bit worse, then I would probably say yes. My bench is now Cowell, João Pedro, Lewis. Looks okay. I think I would put Lewis instead of Cowell now that I think about it, because he just has some attacking threat, Vincent. Cameron saying, how's it Davy Fernandes or Salah captain and Rogers to Eze? Rogers to Eze is not as fantastic because Rogers is okay, has some okay fixtures. Fernandes or Salah is your risk appetite, Cameron. Salah's the safer option, but Bruno's the more exciting one. Would you start Timber and go double Arsenal with Gabriel, or would you go with either Lewis or Robinson? I think I would... It's between Robinson and Timber. I don't think Lewis. I think that Brentford probably score. If you look at this, would come down to straight projected clean sheets, and it's 34% to 27%. So yeah, maybe Timber. That's what I'd probably say. Bench Wood, Jimenez, or Ahmad? I'd bench Wood, Yash. Sell Enzo. No more trust on this guy. Whilst the only thing about him is that I can't really sell him for anyone super hectic. The only thing I could do is I could do Enzo to... Okay, I could do Enzo to Saw. I just like the price points though. Like I like having a bit of a cheaper midfielder. That's what I would probably say at the moment. Is Fabianski starting? My other goalkeeper's Kepa. I don't see any leaks at the moment. Yeah, I don't see any team sheet leaks at the moment. But yeah, I'll do the transfer with about 10 minutes to go. What do you think about Marlon coming? Yeah, I think he should be okay. Look, it's a wait and see. It's like there's no rush to kind of get him in at the moment. Who to bench out of João Pedro and Wood? I have Allison and Trent, so it's putting me off Wood, but unsure of Pedro's minutes. Who to bench out of João Pedro? It's putting me off Wood, yeah. So if you have both of them, it's a bit tough, but like it could be what I should have done last week, where I had Gabriel and Raya, but I should have just started João Pedro anyways to cut the risk appetite almost. So I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing to do that. But if you really back the clean sheet, then you can always just start it. You can always just go for João Pedro. And then even if he comes off the bench, there could be something there. I like the Enzo to Saar move, as I think Semenyo's potential to score if he starts up front. It is true, the fixtures are just a little bit tougher though. And it does kind of break my budget slightly, because then I'm kind of taking the stacked midfield department, if you get what I'm saying. Transfer made? No, not yet. Actually, I'll probably do it now. Bench one of Trent, Robinson, Timber, Colwell. I just bench Colwell. If Colwell had more attacking to it, then I'd probably say. What position do you play when you go out for live stream? It's just fives, so it's just five-a-side. So like there are positions. I usually play more defensively, but we've lost our strikers. So I'll be playing more up front. So that's like, but you know, in five-a-side, I mean, you drop in attack as a team usually. Wilson is good. Wilson is not good. Should I sell, Fallen Elite, should I sell Timber for Munoz? Also, should I sell Bruno for Bruno and Captain? I like the Timber to Munoz move. The Mbumo to Bruno one is fine. As I always say, the -4s are a bit tough, but like if you want to captain him, it looks a bit better. Okay, so let's do this transfer. So it's going to be Semenyo out for Eze. And we're going to lock that in. I get Semenyo could do well. I still back Bournemouth. I just think that this move on paper does look okay. Semenyo to Eze, I'm going to confirm that. And I think this is going to be the team that we run with. I understand the Palmer captaincy is a bit, I don't know. It's just the fact that I'm going to take a punt and I'm going to hope that Chelsea do well. It is the early kickoff though, which I agree could be suspect. I'm just going to screenshot this for Discord quick, but you guys can get your questions in and we can do like a quick fire now, 9 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever the time remaining is. And also I'm going to start Enzo. So although 66% of you said that I should start Robinson, yeah, I've gone for Enzo, and I'm just going to try and play the attacker. Semenyo or Enzo to Eze, I've got the funds. If you can do Enzo to Eze, I think I'd be more tempted by that. But it's like, it's same with what I was talking about with the team structure. So if you find with that team structure, do we know if Jackson starts, bro? I should hope so. I saw Nkunku was rumored to be potentially leaving the club. So, I mean, I'm just hoping that Jackson does well today. Sorry, I just got a last post here. Okay, cool. While you guys get your questions in, let's check the last round of Twitter. Okay, Dominic Szoboszlai starts for Liverpool. If that changes anything for you guys. And otherwise, I don't see anything besides that. So that's the only piece of news we've got, and that wasn't even for the kickoffs now, it was for the kickoffs later. But Szoboszlai starts. Okay, cool. Let me go back. Zaid saying, let's go. Nanad saying, should I do Diaz to Bruno? Thanks if you want to captain Bruno. I like the move, otherwise Diaz is the double coming up. Should I transfer out Timber for Hall? That move looks fine. I'd probably say though, consider Mazraoui as United have better upcoming fixtures. And they're also playing blank game week 29. Eze or Mud or Rogers. I think I still like Eze for these fixtures. Jesus, Turrell, and bench Rogers, or just bench. I just bench. I just bench. That's tough though because West Ham's a good fixture. But I think I would just bench Jesus and play Rogers and then see what you do. Start João Pedro or Timber. I mean, at the moment, everyone's benching João Pedro, so I think Timber. Aina Robinson to bench. I bench Aina. I thought you had a good choose between Gabriel, Van Dijk, or Hall. 3 defenders. I'd go Trent, Van Dijk, and Hall. Wood or Rogers, I'd go Wood. I've lost the place here. Chocolate milk for the win. Thanks, Vincent. Would you take out Johnson for -4 for Eze or just hold for another week? I think that this is probably the week you do the -4, Will. Rogers or Robinson, who to bench? I'd bench Robinson and play Rogers. How much team value is left for your team after that move? I've got 0.3 in the bank after that move. Play Pedro or Semenyo? I'd play Semenyo. Mateta or Raul Jimenez in for Pedro, bro. I'd go Mateta if you can afford it. Robinson, who should I bench? Yeah, I'd bench Robinson, play Rogers. Start Sells or Fabianski and Gordon captain. I don't even know if Fabianski's going to play, so I'll probably just go Sells. And Gordon as a differential captain, that's fine, but I think that you can get it in another position. If you own Bruno, probably would go him over Gordon. But if you really want Gordon, then I don't mind it. I mean, if we were considering Isaac, then Gordon's okay. I do think Isaac's better, though, than Gordon as a Campsy option. Chelsea have scored 2 in the last 4, Sadesh. Well, let's hope they score 4 in the next 2 minutes. But yeah, I'm going for the early kickoff to Rung. What would you do, Davey, if you were 0.1 short on that? You can go for Ismaila Sarr or you can go for a Mud. Rogers or Robinson? So, Nikhil, I answered this question twice now. I said Rogers. Don't. Yeah, exactly, Martin. It's super close between them. And that's why I'm just saying, listen, I hope the team does well. So I'm just going to go for Palmer as well. Why not captain Isaac? I'm just too cautious about the chance of the minutes, just because of the hamstring strain. Andy, bro Palmer, I know Andy, it might be terrible, but we're going for it. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. I've been expecting Chelsea to do better over the previous, but they haven't. Bench 2, Trent, Robinson, Munoz, Gabriel, Eze, Wood, or Raul Jimenez. I would bench the defenders in this case. So I would bench Robinson and I'd bench Gabriel. But yeah, Gabriel versus Wood is quite close, but I'd just say I'd go for the... Why Salah over Palmer? No, I'm going Palmer over Salah. Cash. The reason for that is I own Jackson, I own Enzo. I'm hoping they do well. Apologies for hitting the mic. Start Mazraoui or Saliba? Start Mazraoui. I think you guys have to. You have to start your United players if you have them. A whole triple Chelsea or take out Enzo and Jackson for Eze and Mateta. I mean, Joe, what? Look at my team. I would probably say that on paper you take them out, but I think that you can give them the next 2 weeks. I've gone with the Isaac captain. I don't hate it, Aaron. I think that he could come good. Even if he plays 60 minutes, he could get a Hattie in that. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Start one for this week. Eze, Savinho, or Gordon. You have to try and start Eze and Gordon, Shadow Priest. Like, if you have to try and start both of them. I don't know what the rest of your team looks like if you're benching one of those. Have you considered Fabianski instead of Raya? Maybe, but I'm going to back the Arsenal defense. I don't even know if Fabianski's going to start. I can check with like 2 minutes to go, but I don't see us getting anything. Yeah, there's no other leaks. Start a Mud or Saw. I think you go for the Southampton game, Winston. But as I said, I would try and start both of them. I'm locked in. Hope football goes well, brother. Thanks for the help as always. Chris, thank you for joining the stream and for all the support. Who's your captain? It's gonna be Palmer. The team has been locked in. So what the team you guys see on screen is the team that's locked in. Would you bench Gabriel for Munoz? Yes, I would, Jay. I'm 80k in the world, taking a chance on the Havertz captain. Okay, Moses, I won't lie to you. I watched Arsenal play in the FA Cup and Havertz looks terrible. But, I mean, it could do well, but I would say maybe consider someone else. It's a good fixture for them though, so if he bangs, I mean, all credit to you, but your Havertz did not look great. So, potentially look at someone else. Guardiola for Gabriel, I mean, it's a pretty sideways move. I'd probably just go for a cheaper option with better fixtures. Wood or Mbumo? I'd probably go in Mbumo because of the Man City game. I don't think they keep a clean sheet. Enzo all the way. Robinson can't handle Potter ball, says Cameron. I don't know if he's had that much time to kind of influence Potter ball, but let's see. Are you starting Enzo to list by getting rid of him later? The thing that's the worst thing about this is that I have to play him next week potentially for Wolves. I'm hoping that's not the case and João Pedro's back, because then otherwise I might be crying, but yeah. Start Guardiola or Robinson? I'd probably go for Robinson in that situation, Milos. It's time. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, Moses, especially if you went for the Havertz captain. It's quite differential. Marco, I just want to thank you. I've improved my game so much since starting the channel. Thank you. That's all the channel's about, is getting you guys better. If you guys finish above me in FPL, that means I've done my job. But as Akash is saying, right on time, TUPD. And unfortunately, guys, I do have to run as I'm playing a football match in 10 minutes. So I will be probably on the bench to start off, but hopefully I come on and score a goal, as I hope that Jackson, Enzo, and Palmer do. I won't even mind a Salah goal as long as Liverpool win. That will be okay, but I just hope Chelsea at least manage to do something this week. And I will be seeing you guys shortly for the Gameweek 22 content. Just a reminder, it's going to be on Saturday, so the very quick turnaround, but I'll probably be making videos about Thursday just to let some of these games go by. So good luck. Hopefully the green arrow is in your favor, but for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.